let's begin with updates that are coming in from Israel as it prepares for a ground offensive. The operational plans have been delayed slightly because of the weather condition. Israel today has announced that it will allow another humanitarian corridor into southern Gaza, declaring that it will not attack near the Saladin Street from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. local time. These are the details that have come in on Israel's plans. In fact, Israel has said that another corridor will be opened up and those civilians who are currently in Gaza can evacuate from northern Gaza. They can go towards southern Gaza. They've also been given a time of 24 hours for the same.
We do this, we advertised our intentions in advance, not because it has any military logic, it doesn't, because we want civilians not to be affected by the war. We didn't put those civilians there. They are not our enemy. We are not trying to kill or injure any civilians. We are fighting against Hamas. That needs to be abundantly clear. We are fighting and targeting Hamas and its military infrastructure wherever it is. That's where we targeted, and we have targeted around the Gaza Strip and in the northern part of the Gaza Strip.
The IDF is calling for the people of Gaza to evacuate to southern Gaza for their safety. Israel and Hamas are at war. We have a responsibility to protect our people and make sure this thing never happens again. That is why the IDF is operating to eliminate Hamas in Gaza. Our war is not with the people of Gaza. We are calling on the residents of Gaza City to evacuate southwards for their own safety. Not just because it's international law, because it's our values, our morals, and we demand no less.
So this is what the Israeli Defense Forces said, that the war is with the Hamas terrorists and not with the civilians, which is why a message has been sent out to the civilians along the Gaza Strip to flee, to evacuate from there. So let's just explain it all to you on how this is going to play out and which is the region from there the civilians have been asked. So from the northern part of Gaza, including the Gaza city, all the civilians have been asked to go towards the southern side because the Hamas terrorists are located largely here, which is why the Israeli target is going to be on the northern side. Let's also tell you why this is going to be a challenge. In fact, a safe passage has also been given to the civilians, saying that within this time, the civilians can use that stretch to go towards the southern side. And until the point that we were just showing you, that's where they are. From there on, of course, towards the southern side, the civilians are not going to be affected. That's the word that has come in from Israel, the appeal that came in. Now, let's talk about the path to safety as well, because Israel has said that the target are going to be the Hamas terrorists and not the civilians, which is why they've also provided a safe passage. This is the Saladin Street. It goes across the entire middle part of it. This is going to be the evacuation corridor for the civilians on ground who want to go towards the southern side. Israeli forces say that they are not going to target this area completely, but of course it still remains a challenge because the entire stretch, the entire northern stretch that we are talking about has about, half the population of the entire Gaza Strip, which means there are over 1 million residents who are living there, and to reach all over to this side, it's over 10 miles. So it's going to be a bigger challenge. It could take about 4 to 5 hours for the residents to go the entire side. And this is going to be one of the biggest challenges, which is why the UN has also said that it could bring in a humanitarian crisis. Israel, though, says that it cannot wait any longer and it is going to target the Hamas terrorists, and enough time has been given to the civilians to move to safer locations, to move to the southern part of the Gaza Strip. Reports now, in fact, also suggesting that Israel's counter-offensive has been delayed due to bad weather. Amid this, now the IDF has claimed that the Hamas terrorists are now blocking these exit routes that have been given by Israel, being blocked by the terrorists, and that the lives of civilians do not matter for these terrorists. In fact, the Hamas attack on Israeli Music Fest is also coming. Remember, as families of those who have been taken hostage have been praying for their well-being, their worst fears unfortunately might be coming true, though. Reports coming in today have suggested that there are some bodies that have been recovered by the troops that is just inside of the perimeter of the Gaza Strip. This could be of those who were taken hostage by the terrorists?
There are people that are still unaccountable, and we don't know where they are. And so there are operations which are mostly in the close perimeter to the defense area, including special forces, ground forces, tanks, artillery, in order to seek and find people that may have been killed in the escape or in the exchange by the terrorists, by Hamas terrorists on the Gaza side of the perimeter, and that was the goal of the operation. As I said, there are still people unaccounted for. There are still bodies missing. The number of the dead keeps increasing because we keep finding more victims of this butcher.
So that